Rewilding is allowing nature to take control of the land again. It's removing all the human inputs into the land that have been going on for hundreds of years, which is what we're basically doing here.
Can I just put it into context of why we are where we are and we're talking about rewilding? The UK's nature is in a terrible state.
People are trying to preserve this, but in fact, this isn't the natural environment that we were gifted. This is something totally different.
And that means that species associated with those kind of wilder areas have just got rarer and rarer.
And there's a real crisis around nature in the UK in terms of habitat, in terms of water quality and in terms of species.
And predominantly, looking out over green fields like we have here, a lot of people think that that's wildlife and that's biodiverse and that's nature, but it's not.
So rewilding is an opportunity to kind of turn the dial back a little bit and to take some land out of production, potentially from an agricultural perspective.
You know, this has been cultivated and created by humans over hundreds of years through farming.
It's just being more conscious and creating a symbiosis where humans and agriculture can work alongside biodiversity, because essentially we need this biodiversity to carry on those practices.
People sometimes come into this thinking, okay, that means I can no longer touch my land and I can't even visit it, I can't even go on it, because that's what rewilding means in their heads.
To me, rewilding is a very broad term, and I like to use nature restoration.
You can say, those fields don't really work for me, the margins are tiny every year, I can put them into rewilding and actually get a decent income from them and actually do something good.
We're taking the environment as we see it now and trying to restore it to its historical state.
And when you see people realise that actually it's not taking their land away from them, it's just asking them to manage it in a slightly different way, and they get a better income out of it, that's kind of quite rewarding as well, because you see people kind of go, hang on, this works.
So the benefits to landowners from habitat restoration, from tree planting, from wetland creation, from improving soils, is going to create a more resilient landscape in the face of climate change.
Biodiversity Net Gain is the new legislation which means that at the end of a development, the applicant must prove that biodiversity has been increased by 10% in order to get planning permission. It's a fantastic additional legislation. I think it just shows that biodiversity is now in people's minds.
What Biofarm do is we sit in a space where there are poor linkages at the moment.
Essentially, it's half looking to invest in the natural capital space and help developers because we have a property background, but also drawing upon a lot of environmental passion.
Biofarm was established in response to the Environment Act, and we were set up purely to be a biodiversity net gain partner for landowners, developers and local planning authorities. So we, in essence, assist them through every stage of the process.
So it's the space between developers who are grappling with this new system that is part of the planning system. Now, that's one side of the story. The other side of the story is landowners who are potentially willing or interested in rewilding, but don't really understand how they're going to make it happen on their land without a big financial hit.
And I think having the expertise in-house, being able to run projects from start to finish, means that you speak to people at all levels of the organisation, from high to low, and it makes a huge difference. And I think we're able to deliver excellent results because of that.
We can make it deliver so that you get tangible biodiversity benefits and benefits for everybody that's involved and plugged into the system.
So we have everything from the environmental side. So we've got our head of habitat management, former chief executive of the Somerset Wildlife Trust, Simon, hugely knowledgeable and experienced.
You know, I joined Biofarm because I want to make a big difference to the natural environment, and I see this as a real opportunity to do that. And I think that's what drives you and I to be part of the Biofarm team.
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially being a younger person in ecology.
Nice, yeah, very good. I love it.
Oh, look at cricket.
Our ecologist, Evie, she's fantastic at what she does as well and hugely passionate. And then we have the commercial element. You know, I have a background in property. I'm a surveyor by training. Andy, who's our CFO, he's an accountant, so previously working for companies such as KPMG. So we have all of these different skill sets working together to try and build something that really is going to make a difference for the future. We have our head of ecology, Dominic Woodfield, who's been running his own environmental consultancy for over 30 years, called Bioscan, also hugely experienced and knowledgeable.
One of the things we are, and one of the things that I ensure that we are, is brutally honest.
If we can create the right policy environment, we can create the right financial environment and create the confidence for landowners to take that step to bigger and better nature restoration, it's going to be a really beneficial thing.